guys, it's me, Sarah Petty again, and I want to share a little bit with you about my branding program for the Joy Start Your Year event. This is a really important event, and with all the teaching we do, we've never done specifically a branding program, and it's one of those things that is so incredibly important for your brand. And so throughout this entire two-part series, which one is for newer photographers and one is for more advanced photographers, but really I'd encourage you all to listen to both parts. But throughout it, I give you a lot of actionable things that you can do to make sure that you are strengthening your brand and to make sure that you're being true to your brand and that you've defined your brand. And it's funny because even as much as we teach this and we eat, sleep, and breathe marketing at the Joy of Marketing, but when I go and I create a program like this, I'm always realizing one little thing that we could be doing better in our brand. Maybe it's saving ourselves from brand failure somewhere along the way, or something we're doing that's inconsistent with our passion and our beliefs. So I think for all of you, if nothing else, it's just a really great refresher on what is your brand and what does it mean to you. So right now I want to give you one little actionable thing that you can take away from this, that you can do something today that will help you and give you something to think about. What I'd like you to do is make a list of all of your competitors in your market. Now, if you've ever heard me speak and you've ever spoken with me, you know that I am a big believer in the fact that you will succeed or fail based on what you do. It's not about your competitors. I far too many see photographers worrying about, oh, my competitor is doing this or they're doing that. That's not why I want you to make this list. Okay, when we're talking about branding and we're talking about your position in the market, we're talking about your position in the mind of the consumer. So it doesn't matter if you think you're a high fashion wedding photographer. If everyone in your city thinks you are something completely different, then that's really what you are. So I want you to challenge yourself to find a position in the market that someone doesn't already own in the mind of the consumer. One of my favorite books is by Reese and Trout called Positioning the Battle for Your Mind. And we have all of my favorite books at thejoyofmarketing.com/Sarah's favorites. But this book is amazing because they talk about the mind of the consumer, and that's really where positioning comes in. So if you look at Coke and Pepsi, what's the difference? Well, Pepsi's sweeter than Coke. So consumers always look at you compared to other people. So what I'd like you to do is go through that list and write down what comes to your mind when you think of all of these photographers in your market. Maybe they're traditional and they do classic, gorgeous in-studio lighting. Maybe they're location only. Maybe they're very inexpensive or brand new. Maybe they focus on large family groups. So try to figure out what they're doing and what people think of them in relationship to others. And if you don't know, start asking. So for example, go to the mall and start asking the moms that are pushing strollers, hey, who are the good photographers in town? And they might say, well, so-and-so, but they're expensive, or so-and-so, or, my friend's sister always photographs me. So you might find that the problem in your market is that no one has awareness of anyone. It's just someone's friend is photographing everyone. Same thing with high school kids. Go into Abercrombie, start going where the high school kids are and simply asking them, who's the cool senior photographer? What do you know any of these places? And don't ever say negative things. If they rip on someone, just act surprised and say, really, I thought they did pretty good work. Don't lower yourself to talking bad about others in the market, because there's room for everybody. Maybe not everybody, but the ones that are going to succeed, again, are succeeding or failing based on what they do. You don't have to help them either way. Okay, but just find out what is it that people think. So maybe everyone in your market is an outdoor senior photographer. Well, maybe there's a niche for a studio photographer or a more creative photographer, or whatever that little opening in the market is. And this will help you greatly develop your brand. If you're a wedding photographer, start going to the bridal expos, start talking to friends of friends who are engaged, because you'll start to hear the same thing over and over again. You don't need a fancy market research firm to do mailing and call and whatever. You start asking different groups and you'll start to find the same answers over and over again. And if you don't ever get the same photographer twice, then that tells you something in itself, that there's a huge opening for you. So that's what I want you to do today. I want you to make a list of all the photographers in your market. I want you to find a word or a phrase that describes what they do. And I want you to figure out where that opening is for you or how you fit into the mind of the consumer. And then I want you to go to thejoyofmarketing.com and register for this free event that is going to seriously blow your mind. We have someone talking on about every topic you can imagine that will help you work fewer hours and make more money, which is what it's all about. So go to thejoyofmarketing.com, register for the event, and we will see you very, very soon. Here's to a great 2011, you guys. Thanks.